This land belongs to HOA and you shouldn't be hunting here.
I legally purchased this land.
Imagine buying a piece of land fair and square, deed signed, money transferred, taxes verified, only for someone to step out of the trees and tell you it belongs to them. Not a stranger, not a neighbor, the HOA president. And before you can even process what's happening, she slaps you with a $5,000 fine for trespassing on land you legally own. That's exactly what happened to Marcus Reed. Marcus Reed, a black former special operations veteran, wasn't looking for trouble. He was looking for quiet. After years of service, hunting was the one thing that slowed his mind down, the one place where the noise stopped. One night, sitting alone in his apartment, scrolling through property listings, an aerial photo stopped him cold. 75 acres of untouched woodland, wrapped around a river bend, completely private. The land was being sold directly by its owner, Walter Caldwell, a retired man who'd moved out of state years earlier. Marcus called him immediately. Over several days, they talked through everything: property lines, access points, tax records, title history. Marcus verified every detail himself. No liens, no disputes, clean paperwork. The land was real and it was for sale. So Marcus bought it. But owning hunting land meant being close to it. The only house nearby sat inside a small neighborhood run by an HOA Marcus hadn't even realized existed. He bought that house too, quietly. No announcements, no explanations. The house was just logistics. The land was the dream. When everything cleared, Marcus finally did what he'd been planning for months. Early one morning, he stepped onto his own property, legally permitted, fully compliant, moving with the discipline he'd carried his entire life. He tracked a buck cleanly, respectfully, exactly by the book. That's when she appeared. "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" A woman in designer outdoor gear stormed through the trees like she owned the forest itself. Her name was Linda Hawthorne, the HOA president. She didn't ask questions. She didn't listen. This land belongs to the HOA. Hunting is prohibited. You're trespassing. You'll be fined $5,000. No discussion. No explanation. Just authority. If someone in power told you that land you legally bought wasn't yours, how confident would you feel in that moment? Would you push back or would doubt creep in? Before we go further, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. And if you believe people should stand their ground when someone tries to take what's theirs, hit that like button and subscribe to Voices Under Color. Marcus walked home that day with the fine sitting heavy in his hands. Linda Hawthorne had spoken with the confidence of someone who'd done this before. That confidence gnawed at him. What if he'd been scammed? He didn't sleep. At dawn, he started making calls. Walter Caldwell answered immediately and was furious. The land had always been his. He confirmed the deed, the transfer, the tax payments. Everything was legitimate. Marcus owned the land. So why did everyone think the HOA did? Marcus started asking questions around the neighborhood. Casually, carefully, and every answer hit harder than the last. Residents talked about the land like it was already theirs. They mentioned future walking trails, picnic areas, a private park funded by the HOA. That's when Marcus started digging. Public records, archived HOA documents, old emails, fundraiser pages. And then the truth snapped into place. Linda Hawthorne had told the entire neighborhood that the HOA owned the land. She'd raised over $120,000 from residents to purchase and develop it. She printed maps, hosted meetings, sold a dream. But the HOA never owned a single inch of that property. She had scammed her own community. And Marcus wasn't just an inconvenience, he was proof. Living proof that her entire story was a lie. Marcus gathered everything: deeds, fundraiser records, bank transfers, dates, names. When he had enough to destroy the lie without raising his voice, he knocked on Linda's door. "Return the money. Tell them the truth. You have 3 days." Her smile disappeared the moment she saw his name on the deed. Rage replaced it. "You think you can just take what's mine?" she hissed. "Stay away from that land. If you talk, I'll ruin you." That wasn't an HOA warning. That was a threat. 2 nights later, Marcus's front door opened quietly. 3 men entered wearing tactical gear with fake HOA enforcement patches. They expected fear. They got discipline. The lights went out. The fight was over before it could become loud. Minutes later, Marcus had 3 restrained men on his floor and a confession recorded on his phone. Linda Hawthorne sent them. Their job was to steal the evidence and silence him if necessary. Marcus called the police and waited. When officers arrived, they saw everything laid out cleanly: documents, weapons, recordings, and 3 men tied with their own zip restraints. Marcus explained calmly, clearly, like a report, not a story. By morning, Linda Hawthorne was arrested while trying to leave the county. Fraud, embezzlement, conspiracy, attempted murder. The neighborhood unraveled fast. Residents realized their money was gone. Their trust had been weaponized. The HOA board collapsed. New leadership stepped in and apologized to Marcus face to face. Marcus kept his land. He hunted there legally, quietly, the way he always intended. Linda Hawthorne was sentenced to 12 years in prison and ordered to repay every dollar she stole. If you believe lies backed by fake authority always collapse eventually, hit that like button, subscribe to Voices Under Color, and share this story, because truth only works when it's heard.